And the focal point of the whole year is the festival, the St. Mary of Carmen Festival. And it's just a total community involvement where everybody in the community is involved for the good of the community, and it really makes it worthwhile for everybody.
The feast day of this society, in other words, the day that they honor the Blessed Virgin, is the 15th of July. So that's why we celebrate this as close as the third Sunday in July, because it's always closest to the 15th. The 15th is actually the feast day itself.
It's something that happens once a year, and it gets all the people out on the streets and put the money on the saint. It's really, really great. They should have it once a year and always be nice. Very, very good. It's very nice.
I think, too, there's a lot of respect for the, not for the statue itself, because the statue was just made of plastic. I think there's a lot of respect for the significance behind it, for the Blessed Mother. I can remember one time we were going up through Adam Street, and you see different people as the statue approaches, and there's tears coming down. They're actually crying. Maybe they think of the past, they're thinking of their parents. But there is a lot of respect, there's a lot of religious respect. The society was founded in November of 1935. It was founded by a group of men that came over from Italy. Most of them are all deceased now. The charter was taken out shortly after that, and the statue, they got together, a bunch of men, and the people of Nonantum at that time, they were mostly all from Italy at the time, and they sent away and they had this statue made for the festival.
The statue itself was brought here, was made in the United States, but the men that founded the society back in 1935 brought it from their home. They brought the tradition from their hometown in Italy, in San Donato. And when they started this, they brought this tradition from their town in Italy, and they started over here in Newton. And they got together, and they had the statue made resembling the statue that was in their hometown in Italy.
And then we start sharply at 2 o'clock. We start the procession. Now, the procession is another thing. It's all traditional. We go through all the streets, the same route throughout the streets of Nonantum that they've been doing since 1935. We've never changed that route. It's always been the same. Some people say, well, why don't you cut it down? Well, we never have. And the reason why we haven't done that, because we done that one year. I think they did omit one street, and there were people there waiting. Again, a tradition. People wait at their houses that maybe they don't live there no more. There might be an entirely different family there, but they still wait there because maybe their mother and father might have stood there to pin $1 on the statue. We have people, a lot of people maybe don't know about it, but in the old days, whenever a wife died or a husband died, the surviving parent, they would donate maybe earrings that the wife had worn, or maybe the husband's wedding band, and you can see we have those all in the statue today. Some people wonder where we got all the gold. Well, that's what that is behind. That there again is just something that they've always done. Now, behind the statue too, you might see that there's people sing, they call it it's like a living rosary. They sing hymns in Italian. There's always one lead there, someone that leads, and they say the rosary, and they sing the rosary, and they sing hymns. The most important thing of this is the religious part of this society, the religious part of this festival. Some people seem to think that we've gotten away from that. I don't think we have. I think we've kept that tradition up very much. I can remember that my father telling me years ago that we had one woman, that her son was in the, but you have to understand from the beginning that this is old ideas that they had brought over from Italy with them. But this woman had her son that was in the army at the time. He was a prisoner of the Japanese during the war, and he was in on the Bataan Death March, and she made a promise to the Blessed Virgin, to our statue, to the St. Mary of Carmen. Her son were to be returned home safe and sound. She would march that day, barefooted, the whole route. No shoes, no stockings, and there's, you know, that day it's usually at 90, 85 or so, 90, and the pavement is red hot. How that woman ever done it, but she made a promise, and her son was returned. But I think that's what a lot of this is all about. People that do have a special devotion to the Blessed Mother, for favors. They pin dollars on. They don't pin the dollars on actually to get $1 worth of grace or anything like that. It's just that again, it's tradition. It's for favors received. Some people recall maybe that their parents weren't well, and they prayed to the Blessed Virgin, and things seem to have gotten better for them. So again, it's all tied up that. It's a religious thing, and we keep that above everything else.
We have this scapula here that was given to me about 10 years ago by an elderly woman, and she has since passed away, and she asked me every year if I'd pin it on the cart for her, and that's what it is. Every year after the cart's decorated, I pin it on in her memory.
My name is Dominic Messina, and this is my 46 years.
46.
46 years, and we started this in 1935.
35. And how did you start it?
Well, it was just one man who was coming from the old country on his hometown. They done this celebration, so they get it together and original side over here. We'll make a collection among the town people, and every the stage was made it up.
Yeah, the whole thing I always thought was tradition, because the people here know that we celebrate, they come for it, it gets bigger every year, and families come, they have cookouts, it's one big happy day. I mean, I have a cookout at my house, and like everybody else in the summer.
A person once asked me what the lake was. The lake is a state of mind. We do a lot of things down here in Nonantum that I'm kind of proud of, that I'm involved in, that other parts of the city don't really get involved like we do. And I think the lake is involvement by everybody that lives down here, and everybody really being happy and content with what they're doing and carrying on their traditions. And I just hope, by my being involved in it, I hope my kids carry on the tradition that has been started, and I just hope it continues on through the years.
Now, after the procession starts about 2 o'clock, and we usually get back down to Hutton about 4:45. And down at the park, we have a chapel. And the statue goes into the chapel there, and it stays out till 10 o'clock that night. Now, at 8 o'clock, we have a band concert, and like I told you, the carnival's running at the same time. The band concert starts at 8.
Oh, campagnola, tu sei la reginella, negli occhi tuoi c'è il sole, c'è il colore delle viole, dalle valli tutte il fiore.
After the band concert, we have some entertainment there. People come from all over. The statue was there. People that might have missed the procession during the day, the statue was there for them. Then at 10 o'clock sharp, we leave the park with the band, and we have a candlelight return procession back down to the church. And that's usually mobbed. You can't, I know for the past 2 or 3 years, we had trouble trying to get the statue just out of the field back on the Hawthorne Street to bring her back. We get back to the church. We have a few Chinese firecrackers on the way down. Now, something that we've done for the last, I think, 3 years, we have, I know we always had it as a surprise, and we have a angel that flies in front of the church. We stop the statue just when we get back in after the procession back from the park, and we have this angel that's set up in the trees on a guide wire, and we fly her over the statue, and she dumps rose petals all over the statue, and it's quite an impressive thing to see. Have benediction at the church, and that ends the festival.
This is the St. Mary of Carmen Society, and we've been here since the 1930s, and what we do is to sponsor the festival and the things in the local area. And it takes a lot of coordination to run this program with the rides and the festival. And everybody who works donates all their time. Everybody who comes down donates freely when they, after work they come down. We just do this as Italian tradition. It's an Italian-American tradition, and we're just out here trying to keep it alive.